Hi guys, Piotr here, LiteFinance Global YouTube channel, and what we are going to discuss tonight, is the possible trading based on the candlestick charts when it comes to the crypto market. Well, I'm going to try to focus on the swing high, swing low creation when it comes to the candlestick charts, and how can we take the advantage of the possible setups here on the crypto market charts. Okay, so what we are going to focus on the swing high and swing low. I'm going to try to tell you what is important, what to look for when we are talking simple on the candlestick charts. How to look for the possible developments of the trend reversal, and what can we do, how can we position ourselves when we see some kind of the setups. Alright, so let's have a look on the weekly Bitcoin chart. Here, as you can see, we've seen the rally, the base, and the rally again. Then we've seen the move to the downside. We've seen some strong of the pullback, but based on what we already know, right, we were expecting the price to move down towards this consolidation zone, pre-break to the upside zone. Unfortunately, we haven't seen anything close to that level, right? So meaning that once we broke out of this base rally zone, we haven't seen really the 50% of the retest of that zone. Okay, so in that case, if you do remember our previous lessons, our previous videos, how should we approach this type of the development? So let's try to repeat again. Alright, so the swing high is when we see the rally going on, right, and suddenly at some point we see strong high creation, meaning that we see that, for example, if that's the daily chart, we see some kind of the high creation during the rally, right? So if we are going to have the high which is going to close below previous candlestick high, right, in that case we might expect that the price is going to move down further, right, like this. If we are going to see the daily close above that high, okay, we might expect further upside development when it comes to this chart. Alright, so let's have a look what we have in that particular chart. That's the weekly Bitcoin chart. In that case, we've seen the rally, we've seen the pullback, and we've seen the rally again. What we are expecting, it was that market is going to retest at least 50% of that zone. Okay, so once we've seen attempt to go higher, right, with upper shadow, then we knew it based on the swing high rally that we might see some kind of development, some kind of the pullback, profit taking when it comes to the Bitcoin. It was confirmed once we broke through the levels related to 53,000 when it comes to the BTC USD. All right. So in that case, we've seen two developments. All right. We've seen the swing low creation when it comes to the base before the upside break, all right, and we've seen the swing high creation when it comes to the upside levels. Well, why those was so important? Well, because when it comes to the swing high, we created the higher high, but the weekly close was well below the swing high creation previously. So we finished the business and we knew it that there is a bigger chance we are going to see lower lows. Okay, so that was the first thing first. Now, we were looking for the swing low developments to try to determine where market may see some kind of the demand. 45,000, it was the level where we were expecting that as long as we are holding this level, right, again, swing low developments, that we might see some kind of the bounce. And as you can see, we broke down through the very important level, right? We've seen the retest of that level of the swing low, and we've seen the continuation to the downside. Taking all of that into the consideration, okay, after the break through the 50k significant psychological level, we are expecting that once we are going to see the retest of that level, we might see continuation to the downside. That's what we've seen on that chart. The next level of the possible demand when it comes to the candlestick charts, it was the lower shadows over here, very close to 30,000, right? Again, it was very, very important because we've seen some kind of the swing low developments over here. So trying to take the advantage on the candlestick charts, we were looking and we were discussing that of the possible demand zone around the levels close to 30,000 level. So to be honest with you, we've seen some kind of the demand over here, right? We've seen the market was trying to go higher and then retesting this very, very significant level. So let's switch lower. Let's have a look what was possible to do when it comes to this candlestick chart. Well, okay, on the daily chart, so going really, really lower, we've seen once, twice, 3 times market been trying to move lower. In that particular case, we've seen 1 to 1, and these lower shadows been holding very, very well ahead of this significant rally to the upside. All right, so that was the case. Once we've seen the break to the downside, we knew it that once we are going to retest the zone of the swing lows over here, we might expect some kind of the demand. And to be honest with you, it wasn't surprise to me, right? Once we hit that level, the 30,000 is going to be demand level. So once we've seen the move higher, each and every time we hit that level, we've seen the demand. So based on this candlestick chart, based on the swing low creation, we knew it. Once market is going to hit that level, we might expect some kind of the bounce. And if you do remember our Greek trading explanation, it was a very nice setup around the 30,000 when it comes to the Bitcoin to try to trade higher. And as you can see, that's what happened here. Now, one thing very important is that if we are trying to hold significant levels related to the downside, like the swing low, right, it's also important to remember that once we broke through some kind of the downside levels, they might work as a supply levels. So let's examine what we've seen when it comes to the 40K. It was swing high levels when it comes to the 40K. So once we broke through to the downside, right, and we were trying to move back above that level, we've seen 2 consecutive daily close below. That was the significant development here that we might expect some kind of the, after the retest, move to the downside. So what I'm trying to tell you here is that watching the candlestick setup when it comes to the swing high or when it comes to the swing low, once we have it, right, after the upside break, not the head, but the swing high shoulder is going to work as a demand. Once we are going to test, we might see higher high. The same once we are going to break through the swing low to the downside and we are going to see the retest, it might be set up to the downside. So what I'm trying to tell you is watch very carefully significant candlestick chart developments to try to take advantage of the further price action, right? With that being said, I'm telling you that if we are making higher high like here and we are trying to make the pullback, so after the break of this previous swing high, right, we have the halfway demand zone. We have the halfway the demand zone. Once this zone is broken to the downside, we are looking for the latest developments of the move to the upside, and we are going to work with this as a supply zone. So, trying to summarize the candlestick chart, if you know what you are looking for, especially when we are talking about the swing high, swing low, it might work very well when you are looking for the possible swing high, swing low developments when it comes to the previous price action and what might comes next when it comes to the price action. Guys, before you are going to start to develop this into your real trading day, do your own homework, do your own research, right? If that's going to happen, if that's something you like, right, you might try to adopt this one as a new trading tool. With that being said, it was my pleasure to prepare this update for you. Wish you great trading experience. See you around, take care and goodbye.